Your stories heard. This is Undeterred. Live! Podcast streaming on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. Stories heard. This is Undeterred. Undeterred by Ken. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Undeterred by Ken. Yes, we're back for another week. And this week, I'm very excited to discuss to you or to tell and share to you what happened on our acting class. Okay? So for this week, this is our journal number 9. Okay? So for our journal number 9, we'll be giving you, I'll be giving you at least an experience on how we reacted as a class to our digital performances. Of course, that's the second part. The first part of the class, Prof. Nieto discussed something important, and there are 3. Number 1, we discussed the power of performance. Okay? And of course, number 2, she also mentioned, sinabi niya that theater is not for entertainment only. And we will dig in deeper on why theater is not for entertainment only. And of course, lastly, with this power, right, the power of performance, and knowing that theater is not for entertainment only, we have to be mindful and careful of our content, of our creation. So we will discuss everything in detail as we go through the podcast. And I'm just happy because this week I really enjoyed reacting to my classmates' performances, and of course hearing their feedback, and as well as Prof. Nieto's feedback about my performance. So now let's proceed with the number 1 context, which is, or the number 1 thing that Miss or Prof. Nieto discussed. She mentioned that building meanings through context is important. Why is that? Because theater is supposed to be looking into dark spaces and shedding light on them. When we talk about context, when we talk about building meanings through your context, we're talking about the value-laden aspects of your material. Meaning, it should bear a meaning. Hindi yung gagawa ka lang ng isang performance just because, or and dito na naman tayo sa phrase na yon, yung art for art's sake. So yon, your content needs to have, or at least bear a meaning, and that is one power of performance. Yung meron siyang hidden message, or pwedeng klarong meaning, clear meaning, or yung kung anong ibig sabihin nung gusto mong gawin. Yon. And then next is she mentioned about effort, 'di ba? Effort and surrender through intention. Now, anong ibig sabihin nito? Syempre, you need to ask yourself when you're creating a performance, what are your intentions and why are you doing this, 'di ba? Anong reason? Bakit mo siya ginagawa? At saka, is it necessary? If it's necessary, why is it necessary? Kung sa tingin mo, ginagawa mo tong performance na to, say for example, to empower women, why do you think empowering women today is necessary? You need to show your intention. You need to provide, you need to show your effort and surrender your intention through your performance. Okay? And then, of course, you'll ask, are you implying something? Are you showing your message? Are you trying to send a message across to a specific demographic o ganun? Tapos syempre tatanong mo rin, and syempre lagi nating babanggain yung sarili nating content or creation or performance ng facts. Tama ba yung ginagawa mo? Factual ba yung ginagawa mo? At saka kasi lastly, you can't always respect one's opinion. Kasi pag hindi na factual, ito yung nangyayari ngayon, yung cycle ng devaluing one's work. Pag hindi na factual yung ginagawa pero maraming tao yung nakaka-relate, parang sinasabi na lang nila, or what they're implying or what they're compelled to say is respect one's opinion. Pero hindi pwedeng ganun lagi. Kaya nga tayo may facts, may evidences, di ba? As a performance, you are empowered with several and many resources online na available to guide you as a performance maker in creating your creation. And we can siguro mapipigil natin itong phrase na to na respect my opinion or just respect my opinion pag factual lagi yung nilalabas nating content online. Ayan. So that is the meaning behind what the phrase effort and surrender through intention. And then of course, meron din tayong tinatawag na awareness and imagination bring empathy. Ano ibig sabihin nito? Yung mga intellectual productions, usually, yun yung mga productions na nagde-demand ng intimacy. Okay? Now, pag nag-demand yung isang performance ng intimacy, ibig sabihin malalim talaga yung pinanggagalingan niya. Kaya nga siya intellectual eh. It needs to be analyzed and it demands to be studied, 'di ba? Studied further, analyzed further, tapos pwede siyang himayin. And paano natin mapapasok yung awareness natin na to at saka yung imagination natin sa pagiging empathic natin as a performance maker and of course as an audience who's trying to somewhat give reason to a performance. Ayun, kasi ang empathy, it is a social skill for me. Empathy is a social skill. Pag empathic ka towards a specific performance, it allows you to relate to that specific performance kasi you sympathize, you empathize to a performance. O sympathy and empathy. Almost the same thing pero mas malalim for me yung empathy. Now, sinabi rin ni Ma'am Nieto dito na instead of putting on a mask as a performer, as an actor, you need to do the opposite. You need to remove your mask in every performance kasi you're stripping of your inhibitions and you are being empathic. You're reaching your hand to understand, 'di ba? Either your situation or the content or the material situation, 'di ba? For example, yun, yung mga victims ng martial law, if you are trying to create a content about martial law, the others, 'di ba, na hindi naka-experience ng martial law, sasabihin nila, no, don't devalue our experience na maganda yung age ng martial law. Eh pag sinabi mo yun, hindi ka nagiging empathic towards those who have a very horrifying experience during the martial law time. Are you being empathic as a creator? Pag gusto mo bang i-represent din yung few na ganon, 'di ba? Syempre hindi. As an empathic performer, as an empathic actor, you will be parang magiging aware ka sa surroundings mo tsaka sa setting ng ginagawa mo kung tama ba na isama ko itong mga ganito or tama ba na hindi ko lang isama. So those things you need to employ as an actor, 'di ba? Your empathy. Kaya nga tinawag ko kanina ng empathy sa social skill kasi it's your choice. You have a choice when to employ that particular skill and when not to use it. Yan. Ang ganda rin ng sinabi pa ni Ma'am kasi sabi ni Prof Neto, if you don't understand, 'di ba? When you employ empathy in your performance or when you employ empathy as an actor, if you don't understand the performance, at least you are understanding and empathic to the idea or ideas played on you. Ibig sabihin, 'di ba? Katulad nun lang nung sa mga straight, hindi naman nila na-experience yung coming out, 'di ba? Pero once you understand yung meaning behind coming out and why is it important for a gay person, for example, to come out, 'di ba? Maano ka rin matatouch ka even though hindi mo directly naranasan or hindi mo directly naiintindihan. You don't understand pero mas pinili mo maging understanding. Ayun. And that's another power of performances, 'di ba? You will touch lives of those who don't even relate. Yun yung doon. Kasi 'di ba parang sa mga Korean novela parang naiiyak ka, parang ang lungkot-lungkot mo kahit wala ka naman palang boyfriend pag nakikita mo nagbe-break yung magjowa sa Korean novela, 'di ba? Nakaka-relate ka kahit 'di ba first hand hindi mo naman alam kung paano magka-jowa, hindi ko sinasabing hindi ko sinasabing no boyfriend since birth ka or no partner since birth ka. Pero ayun na nga. 'Di ba? Ayun. Ganun lang kasimple, 'di ba? Parang you instead of trying to understand, why not just simply be understanding of the performance laid on you or whatever idea is laid on you. Tapos, may sinabi rin si Prof. Nieto about remembering go, glow, and grow. Ayan. O, hindi tayo nutrition month na ha. It is part of your journey as an artist to remember to always go. Diba? Go, go, go lang. Always act. May action. Tayong gustong iparating, go. Do it. Diba? Just do it. And then glow. Try to remember that you are in a industry na maraming gumagawa. Halos pare-parehas yung mga ginagawa natin. Pero how are you going to stand out? Diba? And you need to employ all of those things like context, intention, and empathy as an actor for you to glow, for you to stand out. And then of course, lastly, grow kasi learning is again a never-ending process. And as in your journey as an actor, you need to continuously grow, diba? Maybe the box you're currently in right now, you will outgrow that and you need to look for a bigger box, diba? Or maybe not a box this time, a different shape, diba? For you to grow into becoming that type of performer or actor that you want to be in the future. So those three things, those are my greatest takeaway about this lecture. And then of course, sabi niya, syempre meron tayong itetest natin yung performance na ilalabas natin. Always go back to the checklist. Is it true? Is it are my intentions good, diba? In releasing that, am I being empathic and socially aware of what's going on in my society? So those things, you need to gauge as a performer, and you need to go through the checklist every time that you're releasing a performance online. Ayun lang naman. And those are the things that you need to check, diba? And employ as an actor. And now, punta naman tayo sa second part ng aming week or ng aming discussion or lecture with Prof. Nieto. So this time, let's listen to my performance. Okay, I will give you backstage access on my performance. I will let you listen. And then let's go through what the feedback is of my classmate, or what the feedback are of my classmates about my performance. I'm excited. And what my professor has to say about the performance I submitted to her. So this is a very humbling experience kasi I didn't know what their feedback is going to look like, diba? Parang are they going to be honest with me about how ugly or how dirty my performance is, or ano talaga yung ginawa ko, 'di ba? Si Aling Marta. So makikilala natin si Aling Marta ngayon. Hindi man ninyo makita si Aling Marta, at least maririnig niyo si Aling Marta and my classmates discussing their feedback on my performance as well as my professor. Ayun, yun lang naman, and enjoy. Enjoy.
Good morning. Jessica. Oh, pinatawag nyo na naman daw ako, Kap. Ang dami ko pang winawalis na to yung down dun sa tapat ng Kap naman! Nagreklamo na naman ba? Ano naman itong ginawa ko ngayon? Sino na naman ang chinismis ko? Abay, pagharapin mo kami, Kap. Hindi yung ako lang lagi yung kinakastigo. Mali ho yan. Aminado naman akong mahilig akong makipagkwentuhan sa tapat ng bahay namin, Kap. Hindi ko itatanggi yan. Kailan ba yun? Naging masama ang pakipagkwentuhan. Siguro, si Tess na naman ang nagreklamo, ano, Kap? Ano ba? Eh bakit, Kap? Sino ba ang unang tumawag ng tulong nung nagkasunog sa bahay ni Tess? Yung drug raid, nung isang ban. Sino ba nakapagtulungan doon sa mga, ano ba yun? Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency ba yun? Yung basta yun, yung PDEA? Naalala niyo ba? Ako. Eh sino yung tumakbo parito dito sa barangay natin para humingi ng tulong at madala agad sa ospital si Mang Julio? nung inatake siya ng puso. Yung pagbabahay-bahay ko ka, tuwing may bakunahan tayo dito para sa COVID. Diba? Para hikayatin yung mga taga-kabarangay natin na magpabakuna. Ilang beses mga akong kamuntikan makagat ng aso sa kabilang kanto, diba? Kaya nga rin ho kayo, nagpalibreng anti-rabies dito sa barangay natin kasi na-report ko yung napakadaming asong gala dito. Dito sa barangay mo, sa barangay natin. Sa pagiging chismosa ko, nakatulong naman siguro ako sa nasasakupan ninyo. Tsaka, aba naman ka. Kailan pa naging mali ang magsabi ng totoo?
Comments on Ken's work, dali.
Hello po. Ayan. Natuwa po ako na very kinontinue po ni Kuya Ken yung first character niya nung unang digital performance po. Tapos nagustuhan ko din po yung parang transition po nung ang tawag doon, nung gestures niya nung nung nalaman niyang sinumbong siya sa barangay, na parang mas mas alam mo yun, parang yung mga batang na hihiya kasi pinapagalitan. Ganun yung vibes na nakuha ko. Lalo na pag yung nag-fidget siya na ginaganon niya yung walis tambo. Natuwa po ako doon. Wait lang, may notes po ako dito. Tapos, yun po, nagustuhan ko po siya. Tapos, yung ko lang po, yung tempo niya, it's either parang mas marami pa pong masisiksik si Kuya Ken doon. Kasi 'di ba medyo pag mga Marites po medyo madada or something. So mas okay kung like tuloy-tuloy siyang nagdadada na. Okay, ganyan dito or something. Yun lang naman po.
Ang akin po, natuwa ako din kay Kuya Ken na clear yung beginning, middle, and end niya. Sobrang klaro nung transitions ni Kuya Ken. And yung props niya sa tingting, hindi lang siya nakatenga doon as in ginagalaw niya talaga. Tapos kahit na nakaupo siya, hindi lang siya yung nakaganyan. Ginagamit niya yung hands niya and yung upper body niya para yun, hindi still. Tapos yung kahit na may pagkamarites na mataas palagi yung sinasabi o kaya yung dada ng dada, very clear yung mga stresses and yung enunciation para sa akin ni Kuya Ken. Ayun.
Great!
Na-enjoy ko po siya. Lagi po ako natuto kapag nagda-drag siya. Pero, ayun po, nakakatuwa po kasi nandun yung yung parang yung may laman yung content ng kwento na hindi lang siya basta-basta nagkwento, parang biglang nagdrama, parang na-hurt ko ba feelings ito? Parang ako yung natamaan na nag-isabi, mga ganun na may meaning, nakakatuwa po yun. Napansin ko lang po na parang ayun din po, nagustuhan ko rin po na malinis po yung space. Pero feeling ko po sa mga ganun na minimalist, parang kaya pa po ni Kuya Ken na i-exage pa niya yung movement niya na yung mga Marites po kasi diba parang ang hilig gumalaw, parang hindi parang laging napapakali na hindi ka pwedeng mag-sit still in one place. Parang ganun po yung nai-imagine ko po. So feeling ko po, pwede pa pong mas gamitin rin ni Kuya yung space po. Yun lang po.
Salamat. Meron pa ba? Wala na. Yes.
Ang nanote ko naman po ay yung napakita ni Kuya Ken yung pros ng pagiging isang chismosa, na bilang mga chismosa para na rin silang reporter. Ayan. And nakikita din doon yung parang hindi naman sa gusto ni ano po bang character name ni Kuya Ken doon. So ayun, yung character niya na tawag dito na nakakatulong siya ganyan sa parang sa pagkikwento ng character, nai-imagine ko yung community kahit hindi ipakita yung gaano kalayo yung mga bahay ng isa't isa, yung mga aso-aso na muntik na siyang makagat, ganyan. And then yung sa ano naman po sa boys, clear din po, ayun nga po yung stresses and yung poses, hindi siya ganun ka dalas gamitin, which is na bibigyan point din po kahit hindi nakukuha yung gusto ng ibang comments kanina na pagchismosa kailangan tuloy-tuloy, pero parang nafe-feel ko po na kaya hindi rin ganun yung way of talking or way of speaking nung character ay dahil kasi nga nabungangaan na naman siya ni Kapitan. Ayan. So parang ako na naman, ganyan-ganyan. Ayan. Tapos, ayun po, medyo na ano lang kasi ayun, pag si Kuya Ken po talaga ang nagpo-perform, talagang nanonood akong ganyan. Okay. Kasi feeling ko, marami akong nakukuha. Ayan. Tapos, na bother lang po ako sa isang line. Isa lang naman po. And hindi naman po siya kabawasan sa buong performance. Yung inatake siya ng puso. So, biglang pumasok sa utak. Siya inatake ng puso. Ganon. Pero, ayan po. Overall, yes. I love it. Ayan. Thank you po.
Ang ganda-ganda ng sinabi ni Fally, no? You have a strong material, Ken, di ba? Hindi lang sa character mo, pero with the lines that you chose to include in a 3-minute performance, which is very short, pakita yung community. Di ba? Yan yung mga gusto natin sa mga Marites, eh. And ang maganda doon ay actually magugustuhan ng CSSP, College of Social Sciences and Philosophy, yung ginawa mo because binigyan mo ng value yung chismis na it's not just a hearsay, it's not just a gut feeling, but it's actually factual. Diba? Yun yung take niya. Yan yung magandang ginawa mo, Ken. You turned it around. Yung doon lang sa last line mo na, masama po ba magsabi ng totoo? Diba? Pinapaisip din na, nga no, chismis ba? Because hindi siya puro chismis. Action yung ginawa mo, diba? Diba? Parang you created sinumbong mo yung mga aso, 'di ba? Dinala sa ospital si ganito. Parang it's pushing forward yung mga Marites na yung pinapakita mong Marites, ang pag-push niya ay para gumawa ng policy si Cap. 'Di ba? Parang siya na nga irereklamo 'di ba? Dapat ikaw nga Cap yung may policies niyan, 'di ba? Kaya naman nagawa ito because nagreklamo ako, 'di ba? And I think it's napapanahon sa nangyayari ngayon when you're saying things and your fact-checking, di ba, yung lahat na nababasa ninyo. I think yun yung point. Maganda rin yung sinabi nila na there's an opportunity here, Ken. Sayang ako, ganda-ganda ako doon sa walis tingting, yung pagpasok mo, di ba, na parang, ang tawag dito, pinagpapantay-pantay mo sila. Gamitin pa natin yun. So, pang-acting to rin yun, Ken, the content and even the use of props. Yan yung laruin natin if you're available next week. Kung eto pa rin yung character, maganda rin yung comeback. Kaya yan hook na kami sa character na yan, Ken. Hindi mo na pwedeng palitan ng finals mo. Hindi. Ikaw bahala kung eto pa rin yung gusto mong gamitin. But, ayan, parang may series ka na dapat. Kasi yung malong, di ba, yung headdress mo, tsaka yung contours mo, di ba, sa makeup. Yan na yung branding na ang tawag dyan, Ken. Di ba? I think
yung nunal niya, ma'am.
Yung nunal, 'di ba? Parang ayun, nakakatuwa 'yon because yun nga parang na kami, hooked na kami doon sa character. So it's an advantage also for you. Na naisip mo na siya nung diagnostic performance pa lang. So laruin natin yun, Ken, yung walis tingting. And I want your whole body to really perform. Hindi ko alam, tama na pinatawag ka sa office. Dali mo na yung dustpan, ganun levels na. Yung talagang pinatawag ka na. Hindi ko nga alam kung nasa gitna pa lang, baka ikaw na nga yung, hindi ka na umabot sa opisina nakita mo na lang si Cap sa kalye going to the barangay hall. Ikaw na mismo yung Cap, ba't naman ako nireklamo? Baka nga ganun pa yung personality niya. So, isip ka pa ng iba pang ways. Like, kunwari, uupo ba talaga ako or somehow nakatayo ako habang kinakausap ko si Cap? So, let us use your entire body. Sayang naman yung mo, yung yung bones mo sa may neck area. Grabe, nakita ko pa yung may contour siya doon, 'di ba? Gamitin natin lahat yun, Ken, kasi it's very intentional doon sa work mo. Maganda yung level na sinasabi rin nila anong classic ang Marites. So, let's find that, Ken, na pwedeng palaki ng palaki yung acting mo or magsisimula ka sa malaki na acting tas palit siya ng paliit. So, let's explore many Mariteses in your performance. Okay? Is there anything you want to say, Ken?
Ayun po. I-share ko lang rin kasi yung write-up ko. Kasi sinare ko rin doon sa write-up na si Aling Marta, yung pangalan ng Marites character ko.
It's from the Kalupi story, ang Kalupi ni Benjamin Pascual. That's the character I'm trying to resonate with. Although yun nga, i-revitalize ko yung mga Mariteses today kasi 'di ba parang tainted na sila with a bad figure. However, isang side lang kasi ng Marites yung nakikita natin lagi, yung hindi masyadong nagbe-benefit yung mga victims nila. So in this character sa Aling Marta ko, para siyang Marites na tama yung ginagawa niya for the benefit of the community. So yun po, tama po yung sinabi ninyo kanina na highlight natin yung mga possibilities na mga positive na ginagawa positive na results ng pagiging chismosa ng isang typical Marites. Ayun po. So yun po yung stand ko in creating Aling Marta.
That's great. This is something I want to ask from you two guys. Bukod doon sa bibigay mo sa akin script, Ken, maganda yung pinost ni Ken na PDF file. Yun yung una kong na-project kanina. So, if you can also include in your script, di ba, meron muna kayong 3 to 5 sentences na description on what you really want to do. Like, yun yung ginawa namin sa Classico before this. Yun yung nirequire ko sa kanila. I-remind ko rin ito sa Google Classroom, yung prepare ninyo. So, yung isa, parang ang gusto pala niya ay gusto niyang gumawa ng impression. So, gusto niyang gumaya ng iba't ibang artista. Okay, na Hollywood. So, he wants to learn the accent. So, if you want to do that as your focus in your performance for Theater 131, kailangan siyang lumabas sa pinapasa niyo sa akin video at kailangan siya lumabas sa description na ma'am, ito yung tinatry ko dito, ito yung ine-experiment ko dito. So you give me a brief background kasi baka mamaya akala ko wala pa kayo naiisip, salita ako ng salita, yun pala may gusto na kayong gawin, concrete na sa'yo, like yung gagawin na ni Ken, like si Aling Marta, yun na yung lalaruin niya. Okay? So 3 to 5 sentence description of the performance that you would like to do and of course the script. Okay, so thank you, Ken. Masaya yung performance na yon.
Ayun, di ba? Puputulin na natin yan dito. Since narinig nyo na yung feedback, let's find out next week. Next week is going to be a very exciting week for me because sa ating journal number 10, we will have a consultation with Prof. Nieto on how to clean the performance and how to improve the performance. So, I hope you enjoyed the performance of Aling Marta, 'di ba? Ang ating modern day progressive chismosa. And yun nga, I hope na sana Ken, kung naririnig mo ako, future Ken, gawin mo yung best mo para ma-improve natin itong performance na to, malinis natin. Ang ganda ng feedback ng mga classmates ko. I really appreciate all of them. Lahat ng sinabi nila I will bring with me. I took notes and I will try my best to apply yung mga feedback nila, lalo na yung kay Prof. Nieto sa aming consultation para malinis natin performance natin and then magawa natin ng tama, mabigyan natin ng justice yung message na gusto kong iparating. Ayun lang naman guys. Thank you for joining me in another episode of Undeterred by Ken. For our journal number 9, our reaction to digital performances, context, intent, and empathy. Thank you guys and have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye! Your stories heard. This is Undeterred. Live! Podcast streaming on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. Stories heard. This is Undeterred. Undeterred by Ken.